Good afternoon, everyone. You are listening to the Carmel Social Media Podcast, and there are three of us here today who are going to talk about what's going on in Carmel as it pertains to development. Tony Cardenas, Henry Mestetsky, and my name is Jeff Worrell. How's everybody doing today?
Amazing.
Great, Jeff. I think we have a lot of things to talk about the city with the growth of our city and the construction that's going on. I think Henry's going to get us up to date today.
I know he is because he is the man with all the answers. What is going on as far as development goes?
Oh man, it is a busy time. If you are driving around our central core, you will see cranes and construction pretty much everywhere. Just a quick rundown of what's going on. If you're along our US 31 corridor, then you are watching the brand new headquarters for Republic Airlines going up around 126th Street and US 31. If you move further east on Main Street, you will see a brand new project called The Signature going up catty corner from the Olivia, where Bar Louie is. And that new Signature project is going to have over 300 parking spaces and a big garage, lots of new apartment units, some condos, and lots of new retail space.
Oh my gosh, we need more apartments, don't we, Jeff Worrell?
Well, actually, we do. You know what? A lot of people like to joke. I was just in a conversation with someone about that. They like to joke that they think we have too many, but they're all full. And so it is about offering a variety of different types of housing for the different types of people that we have living here. And it is about serving the needs of a changing population. So, yes, we do need more.
So, Henry, right over there by the Olivia, how many apartments estimated at, roughly?
It's about 250.
Wow. And then we have some more apartment projects that are being built here in the city of Carmel also, don't we?
There are. If you're at 116th and Rangeline, we've seen an empty plaza there for quite some time. And now it's going to be an amazing project called The Corner that's going to have about 360 parking spaces, about 280 apartments, and about 25,000 square feet of retail. It's going to totally redo that corner. And I wanted to point out, as we're talking about apartments, I think people sometimes have this picture in their minds, quite an outdated picture of what an apartment dweller looks like. And what we hear from our development partners is usually the average income of our apartment dwellers are above $100,000. And it really is all across the board between people that are new to the workforce, but also retired boomers that are selling their expensive houses on the west side and are moving into the central core so they can be active and be part of the walkable lifestyle.
That's right.
Well, when they get these two projects completed, all right, you're going to see, foot traffic is really going to get heavy and great for all these retail spaces up here off of Main Street and Rangeline Road over by the Olivia. From the Olivia down to Main Street, it's only a 3-minute walk, 5-minute walk.
The other thing I think that the city council, that includes Councilor Worrell and the mayor, have done a really great job at is to prepare for all of the density that's coming with expanded Monon and redoing Rangeline and doing 3rd Street and essentially putting a brand new Veterans Way through. And so as these apartments come and some of this higher density comes, the city and the city's infrastructure is going to be ready.
Yep. Tony, don't you think some of your listeners might be kind of wondering, well, what is a redevelopment director, and why are we talking to an employee of the city of Carmel about development?
Absolutely. I don't think people know and understand. So give us kind of a recap on what you do and what your position is with the city of Carmel, Henry.
Sure. We've all heard the mayor talk about this, but in the suburbs, if developers were to be allowed to run wild, they would build 1-story strip centers with giant parking lots and garden-style apartments. And that's not the right choice for the future of the city. And so we're focused on a more walkable, a less suburban central core. And to put those projects together requires a lot of teamwork between the city and our development partners to make sure that our architecture looks the way that people are used to, that these projects aren't just giant parking lots, but actually 3 or 4 or 5-story structures, and that there's a good mix of uses between office and retail and residential, so they can all park in the same spots at different times of the day. And that helps keep all of our parking spots free for the general public and our tourists as well.
Yep.
Right.
And so my job really combines law, finance, architecture, urban planning, all those disciplines kind of into one as I try to help guide these projects.
Hey, I want to jump in here. Let's talk about where the industrious building is over here by the cake bake and the parking garage we already have. Right over here behind the spaghetti factory, we got this new construction going on, and it's the parking garage, right?
That's right. We are building a Civic Square garage. It's going to have 303 parking spaces. It's going to help support the parking needs of the new expanded courthouse and police station. And one day we're going to wrap those with condos so that the garage is pretty well hidden and you have beautiful architecture and activity on all four sides.
Well, the nice thing is the parking around here is kind of tough, especially with the construction and everything.
Right now.
Yeah, right now. Yeah, I mean that's why you're building it. But somebody will actually be able to park in this building or this building right here and walk right over to the farmers market, walk right over to the Palladium, walk over here where all the shops are going to be, and it'll be an easy walk.
That's right. And whenever we do this, from an urban planning standpoint, we always try to flex offices and residential. Remember, your residential people are parking there at nighttime or the evening when they're back home, and your office workers are there during the day. So you really get to use the same parking space for two different uses throughout the day. And that helps our small businesses.
Jeff?
So, Henry, how long have you been doing this?
Oh, I've over 4 years now.
Okay,
and before I had this job, I was a volunteer on the Redevelopment Commission as a commissioner while I was at a big law firm downtown.
Yeah, so you have a law degree or law background. Does that help you when you're
It's very helpful.
putting together these deals?
I have a accounting and finance undergrad, corporate law, mergers and acquisitions after that. And I was born in a big city. And so being in an urban environment with beautiful architecture is just inherent and part of me, and I kind of combine all those disciplines into one.
So now let's talk a little bit about the dollars. So
Yes.
everybody that's listening to this probably has heard the term TIF, the tax increment financing. To just give us a quick primer about TIF and how you use that in order to make these deals happen.
Yeah, essentially, you take the future taxes that a project could generate, and you use those to pay back a loan that helps the project happen in the first place. And a really easy way to think about that is the new car headquarters that we see off of US 31. There's a parking garage that's part of that project. And so 90% of the future taxes for 25 years from that project was used to help that project build a parking garage.
Instead of 5 acres of parking.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And so it allows that corporation to build its headquarters on the site they selected. It allows them to use less land, so then we have more land for the next headquarters. And it's what gets the deal done in the first place. And the taxpayers are not on the hook for that. We are separating those taxes from just that project, get separated in its own bucket, and the taxpayers are not responsible for them.
And I think a lot of people think that they are, and they're not, because they don't understand that you're borrowing the money off of the revenue that project's going to make, okay, in order to build the project.
Right.
It's kind of like, hey, we're making the money off of it. It's like an invisible, like it's already done, and you got to build the project. People don't understand. They think they're paying for it, and they're not paying for it.
No. And the other advantage we have is that a lot of communities will give incentives to corporations, these corporate headquarters, to move to their community. So we'll abate your taxes. We'll do this.
What is abate?
Or
Right.
We'll defer or get rid of or allow you not to pay your taxes for certain.
Exactly. In an abatement situation, nobody pays taxes. Nobody gets to benefit from those
Exactly.
taxes.
So
Kind of like a church.
Yeah,
A lot
so-
of churches
yeah.
do not pay taxes.
So we can't pay our firefighters and our police and bring water and all that. So by using TIF, we are not. It still is an incentive to bring the headquarters here to get the beautiful building, but we're not. Everybody's still paying the taxes. The taxes are just being used for something else.
Exactly.
I think that's
amazing. And if the project doesn't happen, those taxes aren't there in the first place. So we're not using taxes that otherwise would go somewhere else. We're creating these future taxes by making the projects happen in the first place.
Yep. It sounds so perfect. It's not always perfect. Do you run into challenges? Do you run into things you wish you would have done different or things you wish you would have done better?
I think every project is an opportunity for a lesson. And we are really lucky here in Carmel that we can, demand, as we're helping with TIF, helping these projects with TIF, we can demand better architecture. We can demand free garages. I think a way to look at this isn't comparing one Carmel project to another. It's comparing what Carmel does to what other municipalities are doing. It's really tough to get free parking garages. It's really tough to get these beautiful fountains and public plazas and truly all these public amenities that we get from our use of TIF compared to what other municipalities do.
The crazy thing is, 23 years ago when I moved here, 24 years ago when I moved from Indy North to Carmel, Carmel was it was complete. It looked like a lot of other little towns. And here people move here. You got the nice art, you got the beautiful buildings. You're getting all the new infrastructure in here, so you can get new restaurants, new shops, things to do. Walk up and down Main Street, have these events and everything. And it's a great place to live. And the one thing that I think the people that are living here, they're getting the benefit when they sell their home, if they ever move out of here, which would probably be halfway crazy, right? But the bottom line is their value is going up because it's a nice place to live. And even the value around and outside of Carmel and these other areas, you're close to a nice place, good schools and everything else. What more do you want?
Yeah. I mean, I would actually just pile on your statement because we are everybody sells their house eventually.
Sure.
But we want them to stay in Carmel.
Absolutely.
That goes to the apartments that Director Mestetsky just spoke about.
Right.
So a lot of people my age who want to downsize, right size, etc., they're actually going into these very high-end apartments, and they might be spending 3 months in Carmel. They might be spending 3 months visiting a child in California. It's so amazing the different type of user of these apartments. So,
and on top of that, a lot of the new projects going up right now, First on Main, Signature, Magnolia, Melange, they all have for sale components. They all have condos and townhomes. And so if an apartment isn't right for you, we're bringing beautiful new condos, townhomes all over the central core so that our residents can find their perfect fit.
And actually that makes my point. That is an improvement that you have decided in the last just very recent years based on comments you receive from people like me or the mayor or other city councilors. We want more for sale, and so you've done it. And it's not easy because there's a financing component that makes it challenging for Director Mestetsky. So I commend you for it.
Thank you.
Well, hey, everybody, this has been a education for a lot of our listeners and everything. And I'd like to follow up on some of these issues here in the near future and talk about some other projects that are going here around Carmel. So, Henry, thank you for coming in today. Jeff, thank you for coming in today. This is Carmel Social Media Podcast, and thank you for listening.